Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm actually pretty excited to do today's video. We're going to be testing some new makeup. There were a couple of Lancome releases. I want to try the 3 Serum Super Tint. It's supposed to be Fresh Glow Tinted Serum from Lancome. That is a newer release, and then these two right here are a little bit older, but I had them in my cart for a minute and I was not going to pass up picking them up. I'll tell you guys why too. The Soft Matte Finish All Day Setting Skin Blurring Translucent Coverage Setting Powder was a lot there. And the Tint Ultra Wear, and this is the highlighter essentially. There's always super long names. The reason I'm really excited to test them is because guys, I literally cannot. I love the Lancome line. I love Lancome skincare. I love Lancome base products. I have mentioned that before. I use a lot of Lancome skincare and it's like the only real kind of high-end skincare that I enjoy or even find does anything. So my thought process behind getting the serum skin tint is that, like this for example, the Tint Ultra Wear Care and Glow is one of my favorite foundations. I just shook it up, but it's down here. I never use this much of foundations up. It's so hard to do. I have like 40 foundations in my collection. Maybe not that many right now, but I have so freaking many that I rarely ever get to a point where I use that much of the product up. So anyway, I use the heck out of this, and literally my favorite concealer at the current moment is the Serum Concealer from Lancome. So I've had good luck with their products. Also, the Care and Glow is it's not caring or glowing. It's like a very natural finish, I guess, and it's more like medium to full coverage. It's like a soft matte natural finish appearance, so it's not necessarily like a glowy foundation on me. So I have been having good luck with skin tints lately. The CoverGirl one is like a soft matte finish, so I thought even though this one says Fresh Glow Tinted Serum that it's probably going to surprise me and turn out not to necessarily like follow its descriptors. I also brought in the Lancome bronzer too, so we can put that on. That's like a new favorite of mine. But I also picked up a new highlighter from NARS, so we'll do like one on either side. And then this, the Kylie Cosmetics Hybrid Blush. I have not had an interest in picking up anything Kylie Cosmetics in legit forever. Like never. I don't pick up anything from Kylie Cosmetics. But when you say hybrid blush that's like a cream to powder, I'm all there. I'm going for it. It's gonna happen. So I did pick it up. It's the first thing that I've purchased from the brand. Retail, probably ever. So where is my phone? Okay. If you guys hear noise in the background, my daughter's room is literally next to the room that I film in. And today is Saturday, so tomorrow is Father's Day. That was irrelevant, but I'm just sharing that so you guys know when I'm filming this video. And she is playing right now and she gets so freaking loud. Like sometimes the camera picks it up and it's just wild. I wonder if you guys think like the kids are dying or something. Anyway, let's get into the skin tint first. I like to talk about it right off the bat. So I have 12N, which is the second lightest shade. It's fair skin with neutral peachy tones. I don't know why I didn't do neutral pinky tones. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing when I'm buying shades. I think it's like I start like the second lightest shade and then I start looking at like darker shades, and then I keep going until I find one that looks like it would work for me or like a model matches me. So I think I jump around more than just sticking to I'm going to the second lightest shade because the range is so broad in a lot of these brands. So in total, there is 20 different options, which is not a lot, but we'll see what they claim in terms of coverage. So 12N again is fair skin with neutral peachy undertones. I could have gone to 16C, fair to light skin with cool pinky tones, which is something that I probably would have picked, but anyway, I didn't, so we'll see how this one works. It retails for a whopping $45. This here retails for $53, so they're pretty pricey base products in my collection. This does come with 1 fluid ounce. I think this one is a little over 1 fluid ounce in this one right here, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't see it. Like it's probably under the sticker, so I think it's a little over. This says that it's a 3 Serum Super Tint Skin Tint, covers like a tint, yet feels like a serum. Delivering a luminous natural finish for up to 24 hours, this tinted serum offers lightweight buildable coverage that seamlessly glides onto the skin. The 3 serums are niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, vitamin E. I think there are some people that I'm hearing that just really don't like the niacinamide in their stuff. I feel like everybody's doing it at this point. It's 2%, which is very normal. It just says non-sticky, non-greasy, crease-proof, doesn't settle in wrinkles or fine lines. Oh, and it's non-comedogenic. There's nothing else here. It does not talk about like the kind of coverage that it is. It might on their website, but I bought all of this stuff on Ulta, so that's where I'm reading it from. In 1 drop, glows up and covers like a tint. Breathable serum texture, all day wear, lasting hydration, instant smoothing and blurring effect, more radiant and luminous complexion. That's it. There you go. So I don't know how much coverage this gives, but I always find that Lancome base products give me more coverage than I think that they're going to. I actually don't think this is a bad shade overall. It has a 12-month shelf life. Oh my God, it has sparkles. All right, here we go. I'm going up close. Can you guys like see, maybe not sparkles, but can you see the pearls? Are we doing like a more expensive version of the L'Oreal Lumi Le Glow Tint? It's gonna wind up in my worst of beauty. By the way, if you guys aren't subscribed, that video is coming pretty soon. I feel like I have a pretty good roundup of best and worst that are coming out. This, because they're owned by the same company, is the same kind of component as the Urban Decay Face Bond, which I actually really do like. I decluttered it and then repurchased it in a better shade for me instead of trying to lighten it. That's just what I do. Anyway, I shook it up and some of the pearls like went away. I mean, I'm not opposed to pearls, but they don't necessarily do anything for me. Yeah, wow. It makes a big difference. I think when you shake it, like a lot of that goes away. So they were kind of settling on this component here. I think this color is gonna wind up being pretty good, actually. Oh, it just splooshed out right on my phone. Nice. All right, let's give it a swatch on the back. Oh, well, yep. It's not as lightweight as I thought it was gonna be. You guys heard it splooshing around in there. It was very serum-like, very liquidy. I thought it was gonna be lighter than this. By the way, if you guys see my left eye twitch at any point during this video, my left eye has been twitching literally all week. I cannot get it to stop. Okay, this is like water. Look at that. Ooh, it has like a scent to it. All Lancome products do though. I mean, like even their skincare. Ooh, but it smells sweet though. I don't hate that. That's not like rose scented. That's kind of like, it smells like candy. That's weird, you know? But yeah, it's pleasant though. I don't hate it. Okay, that was nothing. It's luminous, but there's no coverage here whatsoever. I'm actually really surprised. Look at that. There's nothing. There's no coverage. None. Okay. I'm shocked because even though Lancome tends to say like it doesn't have a lot of coverage, I find once it gets to my face, it definitely does. I'm shocked. I'm shocked right now. Same thing with L'Oreal. It'll say like light coverage. I need more than this. I definitely need more than this. And then I'll put it on and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is a full-on full coverage skin tint. Lies, just lies. It's so interesting what brands say about a product because I've recommended, there's nothing going on. I've recommended products to people before and they'll start reading the descriptions and they're like, this doesn't sound like something I would want. And I'll go, just trust me on this. It's not what you think. Don't believe anything you read, which is a horrible way to promote a product. But I do find that there's a lot of BS claims that I'm going in more, if you can see, BS claims that the companies put out. Like, what do you mean? It's glowy. That's a hard matte. For example, here's my take. And it's different for everybody, right? But here's my take. I'm gonna give you an example. Like Juvia's Place, the Natural Radiance foundation that's supposed to give a natural radiant glow. Guys, that is the hardest matte coverage I've ever had. e.l.f., the hydrating CC cream, I don't find it hydrating. It's very thick and it's very matte. We didn't get hardly any coverage out of that. I don't hate it though. Isn't that pretty? I can see it on my neck. Like it's definitely more peachy than I probably would go for. So my bad on the shade for sure. So I'm just gonna blend it down. Otherwise, yeah, I can see the peachiness. It is not a lot of coverage when I first put it on. Sometimes when I powder though, depending upon how they stick together, what's going on here? Then the powder can offer more coverage. Okay. See, that's the thing. Reading the description on Ulta's website, it didn't even say that it was like a whisper of coverage. So that's kind of why I was like, well, let me test it out and see what it's like. Because, you know, again, if I get this on my shirt, I might be pissed. Because again, if you read descriptions and they say something and then they're just like totally opposite. I'm going on this other side with a sponge and we'll see how much of a difference, if anything, that makes. So yeah, without seeing like, oh, it's light buildable coverage, I don't know that it's not a product that I would like. But even then, you can't always trust those. Are you guys like that? Do you find that it's like, it says it does one thing, but then you're like, no. Literally the exact opposite of what the description says it is. Obviously getting more coverage out of the side that I used the brush. Oh, but also I added like double the coverage, so let's do that too. Because this is a whisper. I have never seen a Lancome product be so little coverage ever. I don't hate it. There's a time and a place. There is. And you know what? I so much prefer a skin tint that's like this, that's really serumy and lightweight, because what I can't stand is those skin tints that are thicker and they're sticky. And I find that happens a lot. Like Like RMS has a skin tint too, by the way, and it's so thick and it's so sticky. What it does is sit on top of my skin, and so it just looks like shit. I think if a product like sinks in well for you and is like that, it's fine. Does this have SPF like most things, Lancome? Nope, no SPF in it. Feels like something like this should have SPF. You guys, it's so hard to judge the thought process around this because there's nothing here. It's such a whisper of coverage, you can't hate it. It's lightweight, it's a little bit of a glowy finish. It has a very fruity scent to it. I think I said candy, but now I'm getting like fruity scent. It's such a whisper of coverage that it's like, can you hate it at this like weight? You know, you can't. And it's in nice packaging too. People were like, oh, they're copying Urban Decay. Well, we know obviously that, you know, they're owned by the same company. So this makes sense that they reused a packaging like this that is quite good in my personal opinion. Okay, I'm nothing else to say. There's just not a lot going on here. I was gonna do a wear test too for today, so we can see how much it lasts by the end of the night. We're gonna do like the Father's Day dinner so that we can walk on the beach and it's not like super late and we're going back to work the next day. So I will be kind of putting this to the test. There's gonna be a lot of things going on. Oh, the eye just twitched. I just can't get it to stop. I'm going into the serum concealer. This is such good coverage, but super duper lightweight. I do have mine in a little bit of a deep shade for me. So like it pretty much matches my foundation. And if the foundation is too light, I really can't use it because it does look darker. In 220C, which I shouldn't even get anything in the 2 range because I have this in 105W, which I don't know why I got warm, but like I'm definitely in the 100 range and the skin sealer was just too dark. I tend to screw up buying shades all the time. Even after all this time, I still can't get the shades right. I just love how thin that concealer is. I love it. We have to go into the setting powder next because I love setting this concealer pretty quickly because it's kind of a hydrating formula. So if I don't set it pretty quickly, I mean, it will kind of sink in, but it won't get dry and look cakey. So this powder retails for $45. So far, pretty good reviews. 4.5 stars and 435 reviews. Still listed as new on Ulta, which tells me like it has to be pretty new because Ulta tends to make things unnew a lot quicker than Sephora does. This comes in 5 different shades, and so it's like a white shade, a pink shade, and then it actually goes into skin tone or skin color tones. It says it is a soft matte pressed powder delivering breathable second skin wear that does not cake or crease. Silky, ultra fine, and multiple shades. It's sweat proof, non-comedogenic, and it's ideal for all skin types. They forgot 2 L's in the all. Mature, oily, sensitive, and acne prone. Okay, so if it's mature, oily, sensitive, and acne prone, they're leaving out like dry and normal skin, I would say. I mean, even combo. That tells me that it's going to be pretty matte. It says it's all day mattifying, and it has vitamin E, vital for skin smoothing benefits. I have never tried a powder from Lancome, not a pressed powder, not a loose powder. I mean, I've tried cheek products, but that's it. No setting powders ever. So this will be my first time. I mean, I like that for 45 bucks, they're going grand. You're getting like a lot more product. Like it's bigger. I don't know if it's deeper or anything, but for example, we're doing $45 and it'll be like a tiny ass little blush. And so I like that for 45 bucks, Lancome definitely said, all right, let me make these big for you. All right, here is the pink shade and ooh la la. It's a little bit harder pressed in the pan. I was expecting it to be a little bit more loose. And I think it does offer like a teeny bit of coverage. The lights are up so bright in here. A little bit of coverage happening. Where is my clean sponge? Here we are. Oh, and I forgot to kind of drag this down on this side and I can kind of see it. It's definitely what it says, which is peachy. Am I even getting more coverage the longer the skin tint sits? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, this is a very hard pressed powder. That's not at all what I was expecting. Let's see how intense this looks. No, there's not a lot of coverage going on, is there? This has no scent. That's so surprising. Is there really nothing? I'm going so close to my nose. Nothing, you guys. I literally detect no scent. For Lancome, that is surprising. There's even like a slight scent to the bronzer. There's nothing on this. Not a thing. It smells like the plastic. Interesting. It's very brightening, but not a lot of coverage. I mean, I could see where it's kind of starting and stopping on this cheek. Yeah, no, not a lot of coverage. That's not necessarily my preference, you know? Like if I go in with a light skin tint, I usually want to grab a powder that's giving me a little bit of coverage. And that usually makes the skin tint not only last a little bit longer, but also, I don't know, I just kind of like the way that looks. It's not like super heavy product on the face, but then I'm still getting like a little bit more coverage out of it, you know, instead of like sometimes I go in pretty heavy with a foundation and it's pretty full coverage anyway, and then I go in with a powder that has coverage and it's like, oh girl, what did you do? You know, that I'm trying to like MAC Fix Plus my way out of that situation. I do that all the time. So it's not necessarily bad that this doesn't have a lot of coverage. It's probably just a powder that I would put over a heavier foundation, you know, something that was even more full coverage, because this doesn't offer a lot, and just to brighten in this particular shade. It's pretty. Again, no fragrance, which is super duper nice, and it's way more lightweight than I was expecting. I think that I don't love how hard pressed it is, but you know, that might break up. It just doesn't pick up like a crap ton, you know? It says it's ultra fine, and it's not that it's not smooth, because this feels like a little silky cloud, which is nice because it's not too pigmented. Again, sometimes I can go in way too heavy with powder. Let's do this bronzer. I have it in the shade 02 Light, which I actually don't think is the lightest shade, which is cray cray, but it works for me. I want to say, I think Lancome has been doing especially well with their new releases. I like this for everyday wear. It looks good off camera, you know, that kind of coverage. We are on into this blush. Kylie Cosmetics actually had a couple of other things drop, or was it just the Dewy Balm Stick? Yes, which I'm just not a huge fan of those. So this is called the Hybrid Blush. It retails for $22. It comes in a bunch of different shades actually. There's 6, 7, 8 different shades on Ulta's website, and I got Summer Sorbet, which is called a soft peach. I guess I just kind of liked the way that this looked. So it is a silky, weightless, buildable formula that melts into the skin like a cream blush with the soft focus smoothing effects of a powder, which drew me in. It's supposed to be lightweight vegan formula for comfortable all-day wear, highly pigmented, and blends effortlessly. Okay, it's supposed to have a suede-like texture of a cream blush. People say layers beautifully, water-resistant, sweat, and humidity-proof. I love those claims. I never find that that's like true. Even the stuff that's like really, really full coverage, I don't find it can stand Florida's humidity, honestly, and how much you can sweat as a human here, or Louisiana, you know, or someplace that's really humid. This has got a mirror in it. The packaging actually feels heavy. Even though it's 22 bucks and it's like fairly small, it's weighted, I would say, like for something this size. All right, you guys saw what it looked like. Now it's time to swatch-a-rooney. Yeah, nothing disappointing. See how it's not intensely pigmented? It gives that really soft focused finish. It's very creamy. It wants to sink in with the skin. It's very lightweight, and it looks airbrushing. It's not intense. This definitely, the reason that I picked this up is because I thought it was going to be all of those things. I love a hybrid blush that is like a soft cream to powder. They're super simple. They're worth it. I feel like anybody could really enjoy them. It doesn't matter what brush you use. And they typically last a good amount of time through the day too. It's an all-around really good formulation. One of the only things that could probably draw me into Kylie Cosmetics. Is that terrible? I don't know how many of my viewers like the Kylie Cosmetic brand. If there's any like staples, I'd love to hear it. Do you guys have any staples from Kylie Cosmetics? Is there anything that I'm like sleeping on? Because it's just not a brand I'm drawn to. So if it's not a brand I'm drawn to, it has to be a product I'm drawn to, you know? I have nothing negative to say, except that I feel like my cheeks are lumpy. They're just not even and smooth. I have nothing negative to say about this particular blush. Pretty simple formula. This is brighter on my complexion than I thought, and it's also a little bit more soft matte than I thought it was gonna be. The light is hitting my cheeks a little bit differently, and it looks like this side is brighter, but when I'm looking at myself, I'm like, don't keep adding to the left side. That's always how I end up with more blush on the left side. I think I'm just getting more light over here is what's happening. I don't know why. Okay, we are ready to go into this highlighter. So it's the Tint Ultra Wear CE. I don't know what that stands for. Skin Transforming Highlighter. It's 4.7 stars out of 451 reviews. It comes in on Ulta, 5 different shades. It again retails for 45 bucks, so pretty expensive. It's a multi-dimensional highlighter enriched with skin-caring ingredients. Silky powder delivers a luminous natural glow for up to 24 hours. Why do they always say that? Nothing lasts 24 hours. What lasts 24 hours? Mascara, maybe. That's insanity. So like you'd just have to sit there and like not move, you know? What does that even mean? Micro light catching pearls, vitamin C derivative, and vitamin E. Ideal for the days you need an added boost of radiance. Okay. Glowy, never glittery. Shades were curated in collaboration with celebrity makeup artist Lisa Eldridge. I literally didn't know that. That's very interesting. Oh, you know what they have in here? The pomegranate peel extract, which creates a super silky formula that glides and nourishes. I want to say they have some something similar to that in there, and I'll pop up a picture. They're Clarifique. It's also in there, which honestly makes my skin, it clarifies it. Like every bit of hyperpigmentation or redness that I'm suffering from, I just get a more even skin tone when I use that. Again, I told you guys, I really do enjoy the Lancome skincare products. This matches the bronzer, so that makes sense. Interesting, like tortoise shell. That's kind of what I think of this pattern. But you know, it also makes it hard to distinguish highlighter versus bronzer if you keep them in the same drawer, which I do not. What shade did I get? I got 01 Light Glow. So my guess, let me go back, is that this is the lightest shade. No, it is not. So even though it's in 01 Light Glow, they have a halo glow that is lighter. That one's an icy champagne, whereas this one here is a blush champagne. So I got the more pinky tone, which totally tracks for like me right now. This doesn't look super pinky. What I mean by it tracks, is pretty icy, I will say, is that I have been into pinky highlighters. That's all I'm like reaching for lately. I have a bunch that I've kind of been wearing in my everyday makeup drawer, but like when I've been buying new highlighters, it's just literally been all pinky highlighters. I'm not disappointed though. And I think I've been doing it because it really just meshes well with the blush that I'm wearing, and I'm like going for way more pink blushes lately. I'm taking a pretty big brush because I couldn't find my highlighter brush, and I'm done. I'm done looking. Okay, maybe I do need the highlighter brush because that does not look silky smooth. That looks like piecey on my skin. I'm not enjoying it. Found it. My favorite, the Rare Beauty highlighting brush. Will it make a difference if I grab this though? Usually. I don't know. It doesn't look super silky smooth. It's not that it's not pigmented and it's not there, and from afar it doesn't look okay, but it doesn't look that smooth to me. This is not one of those formulas where I think I'm gonna catch myself in the mirror and I'm gonna go, oh my gosh, how smooth. What if I pounce this in? Like, I feel like it needs to be pressed in. Where is that brush? No, that ain't it either. It looks piecey. Do you guys kind of see that? It just doesn't seem like it's sinking in with this particular blush. And I used 2 brushes. Okay, this doesn't look super silky smooth, I have to say. Like, I don't know how many more words I can use to kind of describe it, but it's like glittery without being glittery. Oh, and by the way, I never mentioned the foundation, the skin tint really. Remember it had those like little pearls? I don't really see them on the skin. Where with the L'Oreal Le Glow tint, whatever, the Lumi Le Glow tint, that I could see. It was like straight up metallic. This one I didn't even notice at all. Like the slight little bit of radiance. I think once I shook it up, it was pretty good. Okay, I'm not a fan. 45 bucks. It's not a terrible highlighter, but it's definitely not the smoothest thing that I've seen. Let's try the NARS one out in Heavenly. I actually think I saw one of these shades at TJ Maxx just yesterday, which kind of sucks because I paid full price for this, but I may have already had it. So anyway, I've just been going to TJ Maxx a lot lately just for R&R. Sometimes I just go to look, okay? All right, this one is in the shade, and I'm guessing it's a pinky shade. Heavenly, it's a rose gold. That makes sense. This comes in 5 different shades, and Heavenly, I would say, like this is the 3rd deepest for sure. It's just the only pinky shade that they have, or rose gold shade. It goes pretty dark, I will say. I like the shade range in this. Radiant sheen with a 10-hour wear. That's basically it. Innovative serum powder hybrid texture provides a sensorial feel that melts seamlessly into the skin, blends effortlessly, and builds weightlessly for a soft to intense glow. Again, the water and sweat resistant formula with a 10-hour wear across 5 lustrous shades. Features a light reflecting complex to optimize light reflection on the skin for a soft focus effect. That's it. Oh, safe for use on the eyes. That's nice. Golden seaweed extract, a soothing brown algae that hydrates the skin and reinforces the skin. It has natural mica. Okay. Did I say that it retails for $42? Everything is very expensive, but NARS sometimes comes out with really tiny products. So let's see how big this one is. Yeah, this is big for a NARS product in my collection. How about you guys? Do you think the same thing? Ooh, damn, that's pretty. That is just pretty makeup. Damn. You know, this is the kind of makeup where I'd be like, my husband would be like, you spent $42 on that? I'd be like, look. And then he'd go, okay, it is pretty. That's what I thought. All right, anyway, let's go in with the same brush. I just wiped it off. Pretty makeup. Please be smooth, please be smooth. Oh, that's way more intense. Way more intense. Oh, but that kind of looks wet without looking wet. Oh, wow. Just wow. Lots of wow. Way more intense. If you like something more natural, this is definitely where I would say go. You know, if you're like, I want to buy new makeup and I've been eyeing these 2 highlighters. This is more natural. This is not natural. Yes. yes, I love a punchy ass highlighter. This one again, you know, now that I'm looking at it, like they're kind of looking similar. So I'm kind of thinking it's the blush that they're sitting on top of that's kind of making them look not as smooth. I'm kind of thinking it's not the damn highlighter at this point, which is making me want to take this brush and then place it somewhere else on my face. Let's just do a hand swatch somewhere, anywhere that I can see if it's pretty smooth. This is so light. Like this highlighter is very, very natural. The one from Lancome. Okay, on my hand with the brush, it's a lot smoother. I feel like it's not sitting well on top of this blush. That's what I feel like. You guys might not notice. It's just not very smooth on the skin from that distance, but it is not. It's just not sinking in. It's not meshing. It looks like it's just sitting on top. In fact, I think it is just sitting on top. So I'm blaming the blush at this point, but that's smooth and like super natural and very lit from within. So, okay, that's actually very pretty. I feel like it's this blush that it's sitting on top of. Let's do the same thing with the NARS. I just wiped off this same brush. By the way, I use this highlighting brush all the time. So it's not the brush. Don't think it's ever had trouble applying a smooth highlighter. That's so much more smooth. It's intense though. See the difference between the two? But it sits closely to the skin. It doesn't look textured. It's this freaking blush. For whatever reason, it does not like this blush formula. Sorry. Those are great. I knew something was off. Like there's no way they could both look the same, exactly the same. I know NARS can do a good highlighter formula, a good cheek formula, etc., etc., and they can do it very smooth. So also Lancome can do the same thing. So like I was just shocked. Anyway, you can see the difference. More lit from within and definitely more punchy, more icy, metallic. This is maybe more for people who like a lighter lit from within, very smooth. This one has a definite like thicker texture feel about it. So both very beautiful. It did not sit well on top of this blush whatsoever. All right, I'm gonna finish it off with the lips. I'm gonna go in with Milani in 03 Nude. I am debating. I bought some new things from Amazon. A lip product from Catkin that's sparkly. These aren't new releases, but just a couple of things that I saw when I was like on there. I don't know, probably getting my daughter some more bras and things. And then Kiko Milano. I love these. This is not my first one. The 3D Hydra Lip Gloss in the shade 46. I have a pinkier one, but this is like a brighter magenta shade. These are gorgeous, by the way. They're a really good formula overall, but they're very pigmented with teeny tiny sparkles that absolutely show. I think I'm talking myself into putting this one on. Not the one I thought I was going to use because I used a really light lip liner, but oh well. This is a really good formula from Kiko Milano. Like I feel like a lot of people in the US sleep on Kiko Milano, to be honest. They have a lot of new releases, but they're just not highlighted. They are sold on Ulta's website, but like their new stuff doesn't go there like super often. I bought one of their water eyeshadows recently. I'll pop up a picture so you guys can see what it is, but I bought it on Amazon. Anyway, I just feel like it's a whole side note here. If you like sparkly lip glosses, don't sleep on these 3D Hydra ones from Kiko. Now, I can kind of feel the sparkles, but they do show up ever so slightly. They show up. I definitely feel them. It's not without feeling them, but it's not as bad as some. And then also, not a lot of them that have sparkles actually show up on me, so that's part of it too. The formula is so damn comfortable. It sticks to your lips, but it's not goopy. They're just pretty pigmented lip glosses, so that's what they are. Anyway, I would definitely get more shades. I thought about doing another lip declutter because sometimes I'm like getting in this mindset of there are certain products that I wane in and out. I know that I'm keeping lip products that I don't love, and there are formulas that I'd rather like duplicate and just have those in my collection because I know that they're good and get rid of the ones that I just don't. And Kiko Milano has some of my favorite lip products, period. Not just their lip glosses. They have a really, really good lip formula, kind of overall. All right, so final thoughts on this is if you wanted something more natural, this is nice. I did not see the pearls. Let me know if you guys have tried this and you saw the pearls. I didn't. I've heard that from other places too. Like what was it? Like the Physicians Formula one, the skin tint that came out like last year. I didn't notice the sparkles and people were saying that they could. So, you know, if you don't like something that looks like sheeny and looks like pearlescent, I would not recommend picking this up. It is very, very light coverage. It is a natural finish. It's not too glossy, but it's very, very lightweight. Honestly, if you're looking for something more full coverage, like you cannot go wrong with this if you have combo skin. And I think you kind of need combo to oily skin to wear this because I think it's more of a soft matte finish. I was really impressed with the highlighter when I swatched it on my hand. Love the bronzer. And NARS, listen, I didn't expect them to come with anything other than like super duper intense. Something that you could even wear on your eyes. That's how metallic it is. The powder was nice. To be honest with you, it's brightening, but it's not heavy. It's super lightweight. If you're looking for a lighter powder, something not drying and doesn't offer a shit ton of coverage, I think this is actually really nice. Will it keep me matte? I don't know, but I have a place in my collection for lighter powders that don't offer a shit ton of coverage. Highly recommend the serum concealer from Lancome. And then finally, the Kylie Cosmetics blush. I had no complaints until the highlighters didn't sit really well on top of it. And the fact that two different formulas that look different on my hand with a brush than on my cheeks, but they looked exactly the same, I kind of feel like this is going to be a little bit of a finickier formula. And maybe that's what it is. This packaging feels so heavy, so maybe this product is pretty heavy. I like the way that it swatches, but maybe it's a little bit too dry and thick. You know the Item Beauty blush that was like a hybrid formula? I don't know, it felt lighter than this one does. I will say, maybe that could be a possibility. Anyway, you guys, I'll show you guys what it looks like in natural light from my phone so you guys can see my complexion. I always say, like, why even test a skin tint or any base product really on camera if you're not gonna do a wear test? Because some things look really good when you put them on, they're just not good when you wear them. So I am gonna try and come back up here to show you guys what everything looks like at the very end of the night. Now, it's gonna be a rougher day and we're gonna be outside and it's humid. So if it's totally gone, I would not be surprised at all. So I'll tell you that. You know, it's like 90 degrees, 91 degrees outside and like 85% humidity. So it's pretty damn hot at the current moment. So if nothing is left but a little bit of eyeshadow or eyeliner, I literally wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying so far and I will see you guys back here at the very end of the evening for the final wear test. Bye for now. All right, you guys, welcome back. It is 9:30 at night. I have had 3 drinks, 1, 2, 3. Whoo! I don't even know how or why this held up as well as it did. Okay, let me tell you what I did. So I'll show you guys what it looked like in natural light before I get into the details. It was nice, it was okay. It wasn't very much coverage, you know, it wasn't like smoothing or blurring or anything. It was kind of just like everyday coverage. You know, it wasn't anything that I would describe as like full coverage or a lot, or the powder was very light, all of that good stuff. I did do a check-in for you guys at, oh my gosh, it was like 5 hours. I'm pretty sure, and at that point, you guys, I had laid down because we were gonna go out tonight and I wanted to like rest before we went out. We walked on the beach, it was very humid, a lot of things were going on, so I was sweating even before we got to dinner. But at this check-in, I had only like taken a nap. I hadn't touched anything up at that particular point. And I thought for a skin tint that was so lightweight and so light coverage, which is so much less coverage than I normally go for, it was holding up extremely well. And I don't know to attribute that powder or not, you know? So anyway, now we're here at 9:30 at night. It's been 10 hours almost exactly since we put this on. And I did come up here and reapply blush before we left. I put on the YSL powder blush because the Kylie Cosmetics blush just didn't like hold up super well. And then I went ahead and added like the NARS highlighter back to my face. And the NARS highlighter on top of a different blush was so beautiful. It was so much better. I reapplied the powder. That was it. That's literally all I did. I threw on a blush, a highlighter, a little bit of powder again, and put on a lip product. And here we are. We were outside. We were at the beach. You know, that's like hot air, like wind. We were sweating. Oh, no, I lied. I threw on, when I came back upstairs before we left, the Milk makeup. This is the Pore Eclipse Matte Setting Spray. You know, I have a ton of matte setting sprays, and none of them really seem to do like a matte job. I don't know how to describe that. Like, they just don't seem super mattifying without being drying, but I've been wanting to try this. It's the mini, and I found this for $5.99, literally $5.99 at TJ Maxx. That's where I was just yesterday. So I put this on just to kind of test it. Oh my gosh, I love this. I do think that the coverage held up, and I attribute it to this 100%. Like, I guarantee you that had a lot to do with it, because the minute I started sweating outside, I kept looking at my complexion in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, it's still there. It's not gone yet. So anyway, wowie. Yeah, this held up a lot better than I thought it was going to. And I would not say that it offered more coverage than I thought it was going to. And also, I don't think the powder offers a crap ton of coverage either. This is so lightweight. Now, I don't know if the deeper shades offer any coverage, but I would just say that this is like, it's a light setting powder. If you had dry skin, this is probably a powder I would recommend. Super oily skin, I probably wouldn't recommend this just overall, but I don't think it did a bad job, but I do think that a lot of it had to do with the setting spray and the fact that I reapplied the powder after about the 5-hour mark. I mean, you know, the pearls, guys, I'm not a huge fan of like the pearlescent finish, but I just didn't see them on the skin. It's not the best, most smoothing skin tint. It's not the most beautiful or natural or glowy on the skin. While it held up really well, and I feel much more put together during this wear test than I do a lot of other wear tests, the perfection of the skin wasn't the best that I've seen. It's just like immediately when I put it on, you guys, it wasn't the smoothest thing ever. There are other skin tints I would recommend before this. $45 for this particular thing, I don't think it's worth your money. What I do like from the Lancome line is I liked the highlighter. It's hard to tell if I would love it. The way that I enjoyed the NARS after putting it on a different blush. Love the bronzer. NARS is pretty intense, but the L'Oreal seems like very lit from within, very natural. The Kylie blush though, I would say just skip it. Honestly, it just kind of felt thick on the skin. This just wasn't like a favorite of mine. Like ideally, this is a product that I would really like, but yeah, I felt like it was heavy on the cheeks and like a thicker texture. Therefore, the highlighters were not sitting well on top of it. And I don't like formulations like that. They're just not my favorite. So anyway, this is a product that I'm testing, not new, of course, but I think I'm gonna end up really enjoying that because it did not dry out my skin at all. And I really do think that it made my makeup last like a lot longer. I really enjoyed the wear test overall, but I don't think that it was miraculous. There's not like a standout thing. Now I am about to do the best and worst of beauty for 2025 so far, and I will say that some of my thoughts have changed on certain things because when you're doing the initial wear test, you're giving it one circumstance, one try, whatever it is that you're facing that day. And so I caution you guys against listening to content creators when they say, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever, because there's a lot of things that go into play in a day that affect a wear test. And so a lot of times it's more important to listen to like speed reviews, someone talking about a product where they've sat with it for 6 months. And I know that that's a really long time to be playing with something before someone gives it a review, but I will tell you that I have dismissed certain products that end up becoming some of my favorites, and most especially as it pertains to mascara, but base products as well. That's the review that I have to give it. I try and be super pragmatic. It's quite difficult to do when you're testing makeup because again, you know, you've given it one day, you've given it 9 hours, and just depending upon what you've done, or my skin changes too. Some days my skin is more oily than others as well, or even more dry. I don't necessarily know why. It changes an overall wear test. So I'm not personally recommending this product so far. That's kind of where I'm at. The other things I kind of told you how I feel about them, and I just don't think that they're a waste of money. I would again repurchase the Lancome powder highlighter, the NARS highlighter. I wouldn't touch that Kylie Cosmetics blush. That's how I feel about it right now. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys are not currently subscribed, I would love for you guys to subscribe so that you can stick around. I'm out of here for this evening, and I really do hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.